welcome to the Ben Mallah podcast, where Ben Mallah is going to answer your real estate questions. If you'd like to submit your question, go to benmallah.com/podcast. You can also get Fast Pass, so you can get a call on the show. Go to benmallah.com/shop. Aaron is also going to read super chats, so Ben can answer your questions. You can donate the funds that way. Welcome to the last podcast of this channel.
All right, here we are. This is going to be the last one on this channel. You don't want to know why? Tell them why, Rafal. You're running this goddamn circus act. Because all I do is come here and try to help people. You know, all this stuff that goes on with the technical stuff, I got nothing to do with, I'm telling you. So, you know, Rafal, it's your brilliant idea. You tell everybody.
All right, so we're going to move the podcast to the new channel. Link is in the video description, so you can click there, subscribe.
You told me you're going to put me on Spotify. Joe Rogan's on Spotify.
That's going to be separately on top of that. But for now, we're going to have Ben Mallah podcast channel, where we're going to go live, and the edited videos are going to just be uploaded here, and the live podcasts are going to be on a separate channel. So just join guys there.
So some people like podcasts, and some people like videos, some people like both. I don't know. Podcasts are a certain type of person. It's the type of person that's going to listen to a podcast that it's about something they're interested in. And, you know, we try to, you know, you can benefit by listening to other people's problems in their situations. You know, people call in, so-and-so in Michigan, he's got this, he's got that, he wants to do this, he wants to do that. And then we talk about it, you know, because basically we're all doing the same shit. We all want to make money. We want to find a deal, we want to fix it up, and we want to make money. And we want to refinance that baby and get all our money out and then some. And then just make money on the bank's money. That's what it's all about. That's the whole goddamn game to me. Now, if you want to do something else, go to another podcast. I want to help people buy shit and fix it or whatever they can do and make some money. All right, what else we got?
All right.
And, so that's the story. He's going to set up a separate channel for a podcast only. So all the people that are serious about making money, we're going to have some time to talk about it. All right? And that's going to be just for people that want to make money. Anyway, that's the story. I don't think I can sit through a whole podcast, to tell you the truth. I don't know. Maybe.
I'm sure. Watch podcasts.
I got no time. I'm too busy running this goddamn... You know what I'm doing? I'm working on selling hotels.
I know what you know.
I'm trying to sell everything. I'm buying stuff. I'm refinancing stuff. I'm negotiating leases. Your brother's building buildings. I mean, there's so much going on in my head. And then the goddamn stock market's kicking my ass. You know, it's ridiculous. Hello? Somebody there?
Yeah, we have a caller.
Hello, how are you? What's going on? What? You have a question in real estate? All right, spit it out. Had a bad week. I'm sorry. Had a bad week. So if I'm really rude to you or mean to you, I apologize in advance. Okay. So what the hell do you want to talk about? I had a rough week. What do you got?
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Got disconnected.
We lost him. I think he was lost before he called. He's in desperate need to know what. He had to leave us with right at the edge. I'm in desperate need of what? And he cuts off. All right. What else you got, Raful?
Well, thank you to the first super chat on the nose. Thank you for the $10. Please share one or two good commercial insurance brokers in Florida.
Recommend insurance brokers?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to tell you, I tell people what I do. Okay. It depends on the type of property you're insuring. I personally use Insurance Office of America. Okay. And I got a broker there. I'll even tell you his name. What's his name? Jeremy Burr in Orlando. Okay. And he's been taking care of my insurance for years. And, you know, IOA's a big one. They insure stadiums. And then you got other people, Brown and Browns. Look them up. Commercial, depending on the type of real estate you want. You know, if you want a big portfolio blanket like I got, where you're taking stuff off and you're putting stuff on, and it's a big portfolio blanket real estate, then, you know, you need a big shot broker that's going to go out. Basically, all they do is they go out to the markets. And really, it's called the, what's it called? Something to do in England, okay? The whole market with insurance. I think England controls insurance somehow. Anyway, I forgot what it's called. I had a rough week. Anyway, and all these brokers, they put it out to the other middle guys, and then the middle guys put it out to the insurance company, and they all get a bid, and blah, 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 and they handle it for you, and you pay them a nice fat commission. So anyway, that's what I do.
We have a caller, Ben.
All right. What do we got?
Hello?
Hello?
Is it this guy
All
again in desperate need?
Yeah, we got him back.
Yeah, that's me.
All right. In desperate need on what?
Like, I knowing we're the first step of like jumping into real estate. I've been watching your channel for a couple of months here, and I've got a good bit of cap.
Well,
You're breaking up.
Good bit of capital, but I have terrible credit.
You're
I'm
breaking
up.
You got terrible credit. How much money you got?
Probably like 30.
All right, man, you're going to have to go to a better place.
You got to get a better signal. Go find a cell tower nearby. Something. I'm sorry.
All right.
He's got 30 grand, I think, and he's got bad credit, and he wants to get into real estate. Well, I'm going to tell everybody right now. Your credit is more important than the money you got. If you got good credit, you need less money to borrow. To buy, because they'll loan you more. So, if you got messed up credit, I think there's nonprofits that help people. Go and clean your credit up. You're only a friggin' number in this world. We're all just numbers, and that's your credit score. So, if you got problems, run your report. And if there's bad stuff on there, negotiate, get somebody to help you and get it cleaned up, because that's what's most important. All right. What else we got?
Henry G, thank you for the $25.
All right,
Appreciate
Henry
it.
G.
All right. So
You cut him off.
I'm good.
Okay, good.
Okay, it's my understanding that in real estate planning, the step up in basis covers only capital gains. Would you still owe 40% on the actual value above 11 million at transfer? And if so, how do you handle the liquidity?
Liquidity?
Yes, liquidity requirement.
All right. Stepped up basis.
Just
I'm
right
going
there,
to tell
too,
you
if you need
something. When it comes to all that stuff, never trust anybody with CPA. Okay. The CPA, he's the one that, his license is on the line. But to my knowledge, and I'll never tell you something I don't know, like all these other people out there. Oh, yeah, it's talking all this bullshit they don't know. Anyway, the point is, stepped up basis to me means the only thing I know about stepped up basis is if I drop dead tomorrow, okay, my wife gets stepped up basis and doesn't have to recapture all the tax deferment that I've done in the 1031s, which is a big deal, okay? Because, you can sell a property and owe the tax money. You can owe more tax if you've been 1031ing than you'll even get from the sale of that deal, just because of the basis. But that's the only thing I know about stepped up basis, okay? She gets stepped up basis if I croak. And then all she does is sell the property for what the value is in that market, and she doesn't have to pay tax on it, okay? There you go. All right, somebody call me. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from those consults. Somebody with me who had a conversation about the enterprise zone thing about if you hold the property 10 years, you don't have to pay capital gains. I got to talk to my accountant about that. Then I won't have to 1031 if I buy something and hold it for 10 years. And that's what I'm thinking about starting to do now anyway.
All right, Joshua Weston, thank you for the $4.99. Ben, when are you going to start an OnlyFans? I don't know about an OnlyFans, but are we going to do like a Cameo or something? Like Cameo, where you like...
I don't have fans. I got friends. Okay, but I don't know. I don't know about all that stuff. That's up to Rafal over here, which I found out, I believe Rafal found out today that he's half Ukrainian. Okay, so back in the day, his family, actually part of his family, I guess, I don't know, his father's side, his mother's side, is actually from Ukraine. So that's the latest news on Rafal.
So he's half Ukrainian.
He's half, he's a Pokraine.
But
all right, another caller. Let's do it. You got nothing. You got nothing.
No, we're trying to call them.
Tuber, thank you for the $2. Appreciate it.
I can't hear you.
All right, we got him.
Hello.
Okay, guys, thank you.
All right, I can hear you there. I can hear you. What's up? What's up?
All right, Joe. All right, I got two questions. You recommend dealing with the seller's agent directly? You told me that last week. All right.
It depends on the situation. If you got a lot of competition, okay, and there's 4 other people bidding on the same property, but they all got brokers where the listing agent's going to have to split his commission,
and you are going to let him keep the whole commission, who's he going to go with?
Okay.
That's the
But then
situation.
okay.
You have to
then
apply
another
different
question.
methods based on the situation you're in. All right, what else?
I was in a deal. I was close to closing. I was talking about it last week. They wanted $350. I offered $390. I asked for 40,000 credit. They said we'll only give you 10,000 credit, but there was substantial damage, so they said forget about the whole thing. Long story short, I spent about $3,000 between the lawyer, the inspectors, the sewer line
Part
guy.
of the game. That's part of the game. Better you spent $3,000 and lost $300,000. I mean, what's the problem? How much damage was really at the place? You're at 40. He's
Okay,
at 10. Where? How much damage would it cost you to fix the stuff?
Well, right off the bat, the roof had to get done.
How much?
I got $6,500. The chimney is about to collapse.
What's
Somebody
the
quoted me
total
11,
amount?
but I
Give me a
could've got it.
total. I'm sorry. We'll have to do a private conversation.
Okay.
We go through every item. How much is the total amount of money you would have needed if you would have bought that property to fix it up?
I think, all right, at least $4,000 just for major stuff. Not including me fixing the apartment that's vacant to get it rented. Not even including that.
Give me the
Floors,
total.
painting.
20 grand.
Yeah, all right.
30
probably
grand.
Like 50 grand.
50 grand.
Probably like 50.
All right. So
Yeah.
the original price of the property was how much?
$350.
350. And then you were paying how much?
I offered $390 before the inspection.
390. Yeah. Well, if he wasn't going to give you the 50 to 40 grand off, then I don't know. You really had to spend it. So you didn't want to pay 390 and then spend another 40 grand. So you know, the money you spent learning and going through the process and making sure doing your homework was money well spent. You know, because now you didn't buy it, you know, now you didn't have to buy a deal that was only worth 350 and put another 40 into it. So, you know, that's part of the game. You know, I do it all the time. I got to send people out to do inspections.
Okay, and the last thing, I have an online business.
Hey, but let me ask you one last question.
Yeah.
He was willing to come down to 380, correct?
Yeah.
And you were at 40? 350.
I wanted 350.
You wanted 350. He's at 380. He came down 10. Could you have swallowed 360?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, if you could have swallowed 360, then I don't know, but you needed, I don't know. You know, that's a game. You should always try to play the game out as much as you can. You know, that's what I do. You never know. You know, you know, I don't know what your circumstances are. A lot of times in my circumstances, when I got the 1031 clock ticking, I got to make some moves. So, you know, I might say, well, screw it. I'm going to, you know, but every deal's different. But it was money well spent. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way.
All right.
Go
find another deal.
I got one more quick.
What else?
All right, last one. I have a small online business, right? I'm wondering, should I hire? Right now, it's just me and 2 family members. But I'm planning. Do you recommend I scale it up? But then I got to get outside help. You know, I got to get strangers and hire them and stuff.
If you're going to make money, I mean, to me, the way I live is if something can make me money or progress my life somehow, I do it to the fullest, or you know, I try to do it as much as I can. You know, I don't do as much as I can, but I try. You know, if your online business can make you more money and you figure out how much more money you're going to make, how much the cost is going to be to hire somebody, is it going to give you a profit? And is it worth your trouble? All right. If it is, it's all about numbers, you know, and you can try it. And then if it don't work, fire the person. You got 90 days anyway. At least I think we do.
Okay.
I mean, you know, if you make money at something, make money anything you can in life, as long as they don't put you in jail. You know, or, you know, nothing wrong, you know, just do anything you can, you know, because you already know what you're doing. All you got to do is make it bigger. That's how McDonald's started.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, good luck to you. Go find another deal and just work the deal. You're a smart guy. You're doing smart things. You're acting intelligently, buying real estate, doing your homework, you know, just keep looking for the next deal. All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. What else we got, Aaron? Is Vincent around? What happened to Vincent?
Well, he's still in the car.
He's still, well, plug him in.
Where's the
Go ahead.
card?
You got something?
Yeah, Tuber, thank you for the $2. Give me a let's make some money, baby.
Let's make some money, baby. You happy now?
Yeah, all right. Will,
Money.
appreciate it.
Let me tell you something. Making a lot of money, once you make a lot of money, it's a pain in the ass too. What?
Nothing.
What do you got?
No, keep going.
I'm just saying, you know, you got a lot of shit to worry about, you know, and it'll drive you crazy sometimes. And then the stock market is kicking my ass, you know, and you got to worry about what to do with the money when you make it. You can't let it just sit around. I mean, you know, piss it away. Anyway, go ahead.
We only listen to me.
Just read the stinking.
I want everybody to know I told him to buy Home Depot at $284.
Where is it now?
Is that like, I'll look right now. It's at
Don't look right
312.
now.
It's at
Don't
like
look right
312.
now.
I will show you right now. It's at like
Yesterday,
312.
I had all the list of all the things I should have bought. All right, I'm serious. I'm
It's
not
at
just saying this.
311.
I had a list, a pad on my desk, Facebook, Apple, all the shit that went up because they all said, "Oh, well, let's not beat tech down too much now." All right,
True.
you got any chats?
Yeah, shout out Will. Ben, have you ever visited Boston?
No, but I know Paulie, who works for me from Boston. That's enough to me not to want to go visit it.
And then that person also said, what would you do if you had FHA approval for $220K in Massachusetts market? He said, I might need to get creative. I don't know what that means.
I mean, you know, listen, if you got approved for $220,000 in Massachusetts, all right, maybe it's Springfield. Everything's cheap there, or Holyoke. I've been in those dumps. Anyway, listen, if you got approved for $220,000, go find every goddamn thing on the market that's $220,000 above, $250, and leave yourself a little room to negotiate. You know, I don't know, whatever you can find. Can you find a fourplex? Can you find a triplex? Can you find a duplex? Can you find a house? But do it and find the right deal.
Then we got a caller.
We have a caller.
Hi, my name is Jorge.
Hey.
So I had a question, just a quick question. So I'm in deep debt right now. I'd say about 20 grand. I owe a $65,000 car, and I'm trying to get in real estate. So where do I start from being at the bottom? I'm kind of in deep waters right now.
Listen, I don't want to criticize you, but you know, how much money you got in the bank? Nothing.
I'd say about 3-4 grand.
All right. So, you know, how much, you know, I mean, I don't know. You got to sit down and have a budget. You know, do you really? I mean, I know it's nice to be flashy. And what kind of car you got?
I got a Tesla Model 3.
A Tesla Model 3. You know, I mean, it must be nice and you enjoy it, but, you know, can you afford it? I don't know. What's the payment on it? And with full coverage insurance. How much is insurance charge more money for the electric cars? I don't know. Anybody know that?
I actually have Tesla insurance.
What do you say?
He pays Tesla insurance.
Oh, and Tesla insures the car and bodily injury. And if you hit somebody else, because no insurance company wanted to insure it. Oh, shit. That's a brilliant idea. I'm going to start an insurance company that takes Teslas. I'm going to take all those car companies on the goddamn TV all the time with all that bullshit about whatever, with the ducks and the geese and all that crap. I'm going to crush them because I'm going to be the first insurance company to take Tesla. We'll call it Bensla. All right. So anyway, what was your problem? You drive around with a fancy Tesla. You got a few grand in the bank. And how's your credit? I mean, if you owe 20 grand, you owe 20 grand on your credit cards?
Yeah, I'd say about, actually, I'm sorry, let me correct that. Not 20 grand. It's actually 14K. My bad. I actually paid some of it off.
Anyway, so the point is,
my credit's around
paid,
650.
right? You making all the payments. You got a nice, clean credit report, right?
Yeah, 100% credit time, all on time, you know, so we're actually good on that.
Well,
so
you know,
it's just a high debt.
How much do you make?
I'd say about 3,500 to 4,000 a month.
All right, so you're making 50 grand a year, and you know, what do? It sounds like you need to have a long conversation with me. You know, you need to go consult with Ben maybe. But anyway, the point is this. Okay, have you tried to qualify? Did you try to qualify for FHA loan?
I tried that last year when I was out of debt, and then they said that because my tax returns don't show sufficient income, I wasn't able to get a home. So basically, like, you know, I just said, screw it. I'll just have to wait until.
All right. So let me ask you a question. That was a year ago. So. I mean, what do you get paid with a payroll check, or you self-employed?
I'm self-employed.
You're self-employed. All right. Well, you know, you got to beef up your taxes. I mean, you know, how much was listed on your last tax return that you made? Before depreciation and all that. Don't count depreciation and all that shit. What did you make?
I'd say about a good like 35 to 40 grand at most.
All right, that was last year. I can't
remember, but I know.
All right, but that was last year.
Yeah.
Okay, now how much are you going to make? That was for 2021? Well, no, 2020, right?
2020, yeah.
All right. So what did you do in 21? Did you do your taxes yet? Or did you go on extension? I went on extension.
No, actually, no. This time I made like about a little bit less, actually, around 25,000.
Well, I mean, the first step, the easiest thing for you to do is keep trying to save as much money as you can, and then try to increase your income. What do you do? I hate to ask. What do you do?
Well, technically I'm doing rideshare right now.
What?
Doing rideshare.
Rideshare. All right, so you're doing rideshare.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're gonna have to figure out some kind of way to qualify for that loan. And where do you live?
Right now I live in Indiana right now.
Well, I don't know, the cost of living there, how much it's going to cost you to buy your first house, a duplex or something. But, that should be your goal, but you got to figure out, is there some way you can make more income? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you need to
The
think about
going
some more
crazy
income.
right now.
All right. So,
yeah.
I mean, you need to get more income so you qualify for the loan. That's how you get started. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. But keep saving as much money as you can. And maybe, I don't know, maybe get rid of that friggin' Tesla and buy a cheaper car with no payment. How much is your payment every month?
That's what I'm about $700 a month.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. See what your options are. All right. Well, good luck to you. And you need to sit down and figure out another way to make some more money. I'm sorry. I'm not going to bullshit you. All right. What else we got? Aaron?
Angela, appreciate the $5. Ben, I got a question.
I should have told him to get his real estate license. I don't know why I didn't. If you can hear me, get your real estate license, okay? And listen to tapes and study while you're doing your rideshare. What?
She said, Ben, I got a question. Who cuts your hair? It looks so good. How can you
I
see
have
it?
Mr. Miyagi. What's his name? He cuts your hair too.
Matt.
I think you don't look like it. It looks like a bird's nest every time I look at it. All right. So what's his name? Matt from what is the name
From
of his
Red's
shop?
Barbershop.
Red's Barbershop. Yeah, I went down to Red's Barbershop. I'm not allowed to come back.
Actually, his is called Dapper
Lifestyles by
Matt
Canizo from Philippines. Nice guy, very good.
If you're in the area, you can go to mattcanizo.com.
Check him out at Red's Barbershop in Largo, Florida. Or is it Seminole? It's behind Seminole Subs.
It's Seminole / Largo.
So what you do is you go get a haircut, and then you get a really good sandwich at a Seminole Subs or a gyro. All right. What else we got?
Saul Marriott. Appreciate the $4.99. I think I think I've seen Saul at every single podcast we've had. Saul Marriott.
All right.
So I appreciate you. Thank you. Ben is the GOAT.
I don't know how to make the sound of a goat. That was a lamb. What else you got?
What that was. Ed gone.
He's gone.
Did
Where'd he
you
go?
ever get scared of using the bank's money at first?
Do I ever get scared? Ooh, no. I don't want to take the money from the bank. I'm scared. It's at 3%. Oh, my God. Bullshit. Take every goddamn dime you can get. I mean, but do it in a sensible way. The bank's not going to let you do it in a sensible way. That shit happened back in 08. Those days are over. Okay, they're not just handing money out no more. So, as long as the bank thinks it's a good deal and you think it's a good deal, take every goddamn time you can, as long as interest rates are low. If they're low, you go. If they're high, you fly. I just made that up, by the way. What else you got?
What'd you say? Anyway, Jersey, thank you for the $5.
And it had no connection to drugs in any way in that statement. What?
Do you have an 850 credit score, or is it all by reputation at your level?
I'm kind of above the credit score thing, but it wouldn't look good if I had a big credit score. Okay. They don't really care about my credit score. It's the assets they want. They want to know that they can take a big piece of my ass if I don't pay them. That's what the banks want for me. So as long as I can show them a big ass, they're happy. So that's the way it works. But everybody should have a good credit score. Okay.
Then we got a caller.
We have a caller. Don't tell me it's Putin.
How
I
you
told him,
doing?
don't call me no more. What?
How you doing?
Fine. How are you? What's going on?
I'm pretty good. My name is Matt. I'm from Harrisonburg, Virginia. So I have $1.2 million. Actually, it's $1.3 million in equity on $1.6 million in property that is paid off. I've been talking to my realtor about using this equity to purchase 4 more townhomes. So the townhomes are $300,000 a piece. They're brand new. Actually
had a deal today for 265. He's thinking that that next year these properties are going to be worth 350. He's getting $2,000 a month for these things. I'm
In
nervous
Virginia,
because
they got rent is $3,000 a month in Harrisburg, Virginia.
$2,000. Yeah, he's got a couple of doors where he rents
All right,
$3,500.
so basically, I mean, tell me again. You sitting on how much cash you got?
I got about 40,000 in cash.
You got $40,000 of cash, but you're a millionaire in real estate. How much do you own?
Right.
You got one place you own. How much equity is in that?
So I own 14 doors, and I owe nothing on the properties.
You own nothing, and you got nothing in the bank. Okay, I mean,
Right.
no, I'm not trying to be mean or offensive. I'm just telling you the way I feel.
No, that's fine.
Okay, the point is this: I don't want to go to fucking bed with $40,000. Did you say 40,000?
Yeah,
You're a fucking millionaire. You're a millionaire, but you can't touch the fucking money.
Well, to be honest, I just inherited these properties.
All right. Well, congratulations. You inherited them, and now it's time for you to get on the right track and be the millionaire that the people that left you the property intended you to be. Okay. They left you that because they wanted you to be a fucking millionaire. So you need to cash. Let me tell you something. All right. So you got $1 million something sitting in one property. What's the other property you got? You said 2, right?
Yeah. So the house that I actually live in, it's bought and paid for. I have it's a duplex, and I have I have a 3-story townhome, and I have 3 quadruplexes.
All right. So how much money you got? You got $1 million something sitting in that damn what is it? 12 units? You said.
Right.
You got $1 million something in equity.
$1.3 million.
$1.3 million. Yeah. And how much you owe on it?
Mm-hmm. I don't know anything on it. Well,
12 units or $1.3 million? That's about right. Yeah, you're exactly right. The price of that car. All right, so you got $1.3 million sitting over here in a property, and then you got how much you got equity in the house you live in, duplex you live in? Another $1 million?
Probably
no.
400,000.
$400,000. All right, so you're worth about. So did you inherit both of these properties?
Yes.
Who left them to you?
Yeah.
You mind me asking who left them to you?
My grandfather. I worked for him for 10 years and didn't give me $20, but he took care of me.
You see that? So, you put your time in. You took care of your grandfather.
Right.
He left you with a couple of $1 million. Okay,
that's right.
And
yeah,
I don't even think you had to pay tax, right? Because it's still below an amount, right? You didn't have to pay tax.
Yeah, no.
It's below the amount. How do you leave somebody? All right, very good. Right. So here we are. How do you have credit?
Yeah, I got excellent credit.
All right.
Yeah.
And do you work
I got
still?
A full-time job.
All right. Well, then you need to go to the bank and start borrowing some money and put that money to use. Okay? Because let me say something. You should be going to bed at night. Let me ask you this. The 12 units puts off the cash flow. You're collecting the rent and paying all the bills and running it, right?
Right.
All right. So how much cash flow you get from that thing?
It's anywhere between, depending on what's going on, it's anywhere between $7,000 to $10,000 a month.
All right. So look at it this way. If you go out and you borrow, let's say, let's just round it off, even though you may not be able to do it or get it. Let's say you go out and you get $1 million, okay, that you can put in a goddamn bank under your name, liquid, that you can do whatever the hell you want with. And you can put it to work making money while you're waiting to do something with it. But the point is, $1 million is going to cost you $40,000 in interest, which is $3,000 a month. So for $3,500 a month, instead of you cash flowing the $7,000 you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're only going to cash flow about $3,500. All right, but you have $1 million in the bank, baby, and that means something these days. Let me tell you something. The way the world's going, I want it. Everybody should have a fucking piggy bank to run to or a war chest with this crazy ass world we're living in. You know.
You're right.
So I would definitely go get the money, and if you found another hot deal to buy, you think there's some upside in it, then buy it. Do it.
Okay.
Do it. Yeah. Go to the bank and get a loan.
They approved me for 1.3 with a 4% interest rate for the first 5 years.
Fixed.
Is what they approved me for.
Fixed
for the first 5 years.
Well, then for 5 years, you can sleep at night knowing your payment's never going to go up. By that time, you're refinancing and maybe pull more money out of it. But try to ask. I'm not telling you they're going to give it, but at least ask them. Say, hey, I want to fix the place up. Can you give me a little interest-only time so I can use the cash flow to put back in the property? It don't hurt to ask.
Yeah, they're willing to do that too.
Well, then you're set. Then do it. Hurry up. Make the deal. Buy some more shit. Put that money to work and start growing. Now you'll have 3 properties, and you still have money in the bank. How much down they making you put on the new deal? The new deal is only a couple of $100,000, you said.
Yeah, I don't even have to. So I can use my equity, and they're not. Basically, they're just giving me 1.3 in cash, and I have 4 properties I'm looking at $300,000.
But don't spread that cash out, okay? If you want to go buy something for a couple of $100,000, it's going to be an income property. Borrow the money from the bank again at the 4%. All right, and only use 20% down. Now you only got to come up with $40,000. All that money you're taking from the bank, you want to spread it out. You don't want to put too much in one place. Keep borrowing. Once the bank starts loaning you money, they're going to want to keep loaning you money. And you want to keep borrowing it as long as the rate is reasonable and the property cash flows. All right. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the call. We really appreciate it. Good luck to you.
Thanks, man.
We'll try to goddamn grandpa. My grandfather didn't leave me shit.
Please put me on.
Oh,
10
God,
years?
here he is.
I got 10 years.
Yeah, you're going to get 10 years in jail if you keep it up the way
Hey,
you're
I got
acting.
10 years. Please.
Listen, tell me some good
money.
news. Listen, I had a really rough week. Tell me something positive. I think we're in contract almost. So tell me something good that's going on. You had any inspections, any showings? What have you been doing?
Everything. Showings, inspections, finals, building inspector, fire marshal. Everything. I went and looked at your rundown 60 units that you sent me to in Aventura. That is,
Listen,
I love the
keep that
neighborhood.
Let me tell you, ever since that building fell apart and crumbled in Florida or down in, where was it at, near Miami?
Yeah.
Okay. Ever since that happened, everybody with the old buildings on the waterfront in Florida is under microscope right now because they have what they call the 50-year inspection. That place did not pass its 50-year inspection. The owner, who inherited it from her family, claims that the engineer told her that she can't. She just should knock it down. So we have to verify that engineer knows what he's talking about, see if we can do anything to make sure the place passes 50-year inspection, and then we got a deal to make. That's the story.
Yep. I mean, but the neighborhood was A+.
I know. It's on the water. Wasn't it? Was it? It had boats behind it, right?
And the building didn't look like it was in bad shape.
I know it was a nice building, but the building's probably, I don't know how old. I got to look it up, but we got to be able to pass the 50-year inspection with the city, and that's what that place needs. Otherwise, if it can't pass, it's got to be whacked. And if it's got to be whacked, I'm not paying the kind of money she wants for a piece of land. I'm not going to build in Miami. That'll be a nightmare. So that's the story. I'll talk to you about it later. What else you got for me? Where the hell are you at?
I'm on the water on my.
Oh my God! Why don't you show everybody where the hell you living at? Look at that. He lives in the friggin' water. Hey, I'm gonna go. I gotta get a boat back there. I gotta get a boat. I'm going crazy here without a boat. And Aaron's going crazy too. And now he wants to hang out with all these other friends and all that shit when he could be helping me with a boat. I gotta buy a boat to save Aaron. Keep him away from all the bad kids out there. He wants to go there, hang at the beach. He wants to go here. He wants to go there. He wants to go to the games.
You need to put him in that office. Just drop him off at one of your properties and make him stay there.
You know, a little Ben did the other day. It was like on Easter or something, or right around Easter. I don't know, weekend. He had to go. What do you have to do? He had to go to your house or what? Get the BMW, switch your car. So he had to take. How many kids went to that game?
How much money did I save you working on your boat for a year? And how much money did I make you?
And you're going to keep doing it.
How much money did I make you in the stock market?
Not much lately, baby. Not much lately.
Hundreds of grand.
Yeah. That was years ago. All right, forget it.
What
have you done for me lately, Janet Jackson?
I tried to tell you to buy Home Depot, and you didn't do it. And we would have made a couple of grand.
Brother needs to sell a hotel. What are you doing? I need that place spick, span, tip-top shape. Instead, you're home playing with your goddamn dog, okay? in the
I just
fancy
got
house on the
home.
water of Fort Lauderdale.
I just got home. I redid your patio too.
Yeah. This guy, he bought that house as a foreclosure. Okay. It was a crazy thing where the guy bought the house. The guy had the house. I swear to God, every inch of that house is brand spanking new. It was
From
a
the
fixer upper.
slab.
It was a contractor that bought it, and he tore it down to the foundation. And every inch of that house is brand new in probably the best area in Fort Lauderdale, one of them, on the water with 107 feet waterfront. And, that was a good deal. You
I
paid,
got
what'd you
your
pay for
windows
that thing? What'd you pay for that thing?
1.9.
1.9. It's worth 2.8. You made 900 grand. Very good. Thank you.
Hey, Ben, we got a caller.
All right, we have a caller, Vincent. Hang out. Hang in there.
Yeah, I'm here. Just
Yeah,
10 years.
oh my
That guy
God.
got money from his
Back up, your
grandpa.
face is too much.
I've been-
Close up. You look like you're
10
from
years
Mars.
he got money from his grandpa. I've been working for you for like 15.
Yeah, and he only got 2 million. That's all you want? I'll pay you off right
No,
now.
I want more than that. 15
I'll give you a
is
check
more.
right now. Adios, baby.
No. His
I'll
grandpa
even let
had
you
1
throw
or
it
2
in the house
properties.
there. I'll let you keep that house.
You got 50 properties.
All right, so what's the story? We got another caller? Let's do it.
TJ, are you there?
We have another Carla's here. We got another Carla. I got a caller and a Carla. I'll take the Carla. She cooks. What do
TJ,
you
are you
got?
there?
Give her some headphones.
All right, we lost the caller.
We lost the caller.
first
So
one.
we got Carla. Come here, Carla. Come here.
Headphones are there.
Ben Aki. She don't want to come. Come here. She can't even.
Tell Carla I went to Bar Taco tonight. It was so good.
Yeah, I know everywhere you go. I watch your credit card.
Bar Taco.
This guy
Well,
eats out.
I'm
Let me
out.
tell you something. Uber Eats stock could probably go up with the money he spends on Uber Eats, and if it ain't Uber Eats, then he goes and gets it.
Technically,
You
that
guys
was a
don't
business.
cook.
That
You
was a
don't cook.
business expense because
You
I
don't
was
cook.
driving property.
You don't cook.
I
You
drive
only cook when I
properties
come
every
over.
day.
When I come over, he might cook, and he'll still use Uber Eats.
I make breakfast.
My wife cooks.
Okay, we all cook.
All right, so what's up? We got no callers? You got any chats?
Yeah.
She cooks to get some free time away from
Where
me.
you going, lady? All
We
right.
got a caller.
We have a caller. All right, caller, where you at? Get him out of here. All right, caller, where you at? We got no caller. Rafal, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
People are not talking. To
They're not
phones.
talking.
Why
They're
don't
just
you do that?
calling, but they're not talking.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly. That's exactly.
I think it's the Polish Productions.
Maybe.
Shout out
You have a
SB.
kiddo here.
Shout out
Don't
SB.
turn this into a circus, please. What do you got?
It's your last podcast.
Last
Let's turn it into
podcast
a
on this
circus.
channel.
That's
Hey, where do
Oh
you
my
go?
God.
Where do you go
What
for
the
the new
fuck?
podcasts? Where do you go for the new podcast, Rafal? Rafal's going cuckoo right
Yeah,
now.
I'm running. A bunch
He's
of
doing
shows
this, he's doing that, he's moving around. He looks like one of those goddamn EDM DJs.
DJs.
He thinks he's one of those cool guys
Read
from
a
the
super chat.
Netherlands.
Throw me a
Alright,
super
I'll
chat.
read some super chats. All right,
Yeah,
SB,
please.
SB, shout out SB. I'm 27, made 4 million in crypto.
Ooh.
Want to live off of passive income from multifamily real estate and flip commercial. If you had 4 million to start, how would you start?
The first thing you better do is you better make sure that crypto can turn into money and turn it into money, I mean, that's what I would do, So, turn that crypto into money because the bank, I don't know any banks that are going to loan you money and count that crypto. Maybe, I don't know. Things are changing. But, you don't want to spend the whole 4 million anyway. So you better, get to the bank and tell them, hey, I got 4 million bucks. Didn't tell them later it's in crypto, and find a deal that makes sense, and buy, whatever you could find. If you can find multifamily for $4 million, you only want to put $1 million down or less than that, 800 to $1 million. So, but do it. You got to find a deal. Real estate is all about finding the deal. Okay, that's what you got to do. You got the money, now go find a deal and go to a bank and set yourself up to borrow some money. What else?
Find the most units you can for 4 million.
And don't listen to Vincent.
And you got 4 million, so how much can 4 million get you?
Anyway, the house on Sanford and Son looked better than the house you bought. All right, what else?
Shout out Seth Jimerson. Thank you for the $20. You guys see what he says?
Carl, you better check Aaron out because I think he's sick and he's having a brain freeze.
I'm not sick.
And I want to see what he got on a test today.
Why do
I'll
you guys
kill him.
always accuse me of doing drugs?
Vincent got thrown out of the house once
always do that
because
to
he
me.
refused to pee in the bottle or some shit or whatever the test I bought. He refused. I said, "Oh yeah, you refused? Fine, you got to get out." And I threw him out. Turned out he was clean, but after he realized, well, I guess I'm not gonna kick that house, not take a test, especially if I'm clean. Well, I think he was clean. He might have
I
cheated.
was
He
clean. I
might have
just
had
wanted
Aaron.
to leave
I
the
bet you. I
house.
know what he did. Did he have you pee in a bottle once?
That was a
I
long
bet you
time
had
ago. I
Aaron
don't know.
peeing into something. All right, what else?
Alrighty, thank you for the $5. Should I leverage all my real estate properties or have a few properties fully paid off? He
Okay.
claims that fully paid properties equals peace of mind.
Peace of mind. Peace of mind ain't my kind. Okay. You want peace of mind, you spend the money wisely. You invest the money that you borrow from the bank into something that's going to make you more money. It's called growing. If all your money's sitting in your property and it ain't doing shit but sitting there, all right, you get a little more cash flow because you're not paying money on no debt. But if you can still cash flow and take that money to use and you're borrowing at 3 or 4% and you go out and make 10 or 20% or more in real estate, if you find the right deal, then that's how you grow. It's up to you. You don't want to grow? Don't borrow no money. Sit back and just say, oh, I don't owe any money on my building. And you got an extra couple of grand a month. Big fucking deal. 20 grand a year. I'd rather take the goddamn $500,000, that 20 grand a year, and go out and buy something for $2 million with it as a down payment or more. 2.5 if you get my LTV. What?
All right, man, we got a caller.
We have a caller.
Hey, what's going on, Ben? It's I was calling you from Stockton, California. I did a fast talk with you a little bit ago.
Stockton. Carla. That's where me and Carla come from. Somewhat. Well, she came from there, and
Yeah.
I came there. All right. What else?
Hey, so remember I was calling you about getting like a multifamily out here. So what it's looking like is, my question is, should I buy something right now and lock in a 4.5 interest rate? I don't need anything right now, or should I wait a year?
All right, I'm sorry. The whole Stockton thing, you brought back all these memories I had in Stockton. I just had a fucking like blank out here. I'm remembering the cheap boat I had and Carla and everything that went on in Stockton. So go start from the beginning again. I'm sorry. You're from Stockton. You're how old?
I'm 23.
23 in Stockton. What part of Stockton? North Stockton, you need
North
a Lodi?
Stockton, Spanos Park.
Spanos Park. I know Spanos Park. Spanos Park is all these houses built on the side of the freeway right before you hit Stockton. Okay, right?
Yep.
Okay. And
Yep.
I was there when they built Spanos Park. I think I met Spanos once. It was an Italian family. You don't want to mess with them. And they were hiring a bunch of people, and they didn't want to use union workers, and people were protesting out there while they're building the houses. I know Spanos Park. Carla knows Spanos Park. She went to Spanos Park once to kick some girl's ass. Don't lie. I remember. All right. And I told her, you crazy.
You got to come visit sometime.
All right. So what's up? You're in Spanos Park. You're 23 years old. Now what's up? What else you got?
So I'm trying to get into real estate. I don't know if I should buy a multifamily right now.
How much money you got?
What I can get.
How much money you got?
I got about $100 grand.
You got 100 grand in
spend.
Spanos? You better not tell nobody in Stockton. Your ass will get robbed. Okay. All right. But no, it's not that bad. It's probably changed a lot for the better since I left. I did some damage there.
It's getting better.
So, okay. You got 100 grand. You're 23 years old. And what do you do for a living? How much is your annual salary? You work? You got an annual salary?
Yeah, I'm a watch dealer. So pretty much from the past 2 years,
You making the money
income
on
to
your own?
qualify is $55,000.
You self-employed?
Yeah, I run my own business.
You file tax returns?
Yes, sir.
Well, you know, you got 100 grand, which is good. I mean, you got options. Your options are you can go out and try to find a fourplex and live in it, or
Yeah, it's not going to happen though. What I can get out here is those duplexes for around the 450 range.
Yeah, prices are still too high. You got to go to Lodi.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's worse out there. I mean, there's no multifamily.
I know. It's tough here. The problem is you're in California. Even though you're in Northern California, the prices are still nuts out there. I mean, I don't know. I was there at the right time.
But you talked me out of it, yeah.
I don't know. Vegas, but you don't want to, you're going to move to fucking Vegas. I mean, that's a tough place to live. But anyway, all right, you're in Stockton and you got 100 grand. I mean, are you paying rent? You live with your parents? What's the story?
Yeah, right now I live at home.
You live at home. I mean, so you're not paying no rent really. So, it don't really pay for you to buy a house.
I have more money. But it's in my business.
Well,
But it's like it's
the
not a
problem
to
is
pull.
this.
That's why it's not really like,
I'm sure you could borrow money from a bank. I'm sure you get an FHA loan. I'm sure you can do all those things.
yeah.
But
No,
you got to
it's not
find a
even,
deal.
That's not
You
even
got to
the
find a
issue.
deal.
Yeah,
There's no
exactly.
deals in Stockton right now, unless you, I don't know if there is or not, but I doubt it. It's such an expensive, competitive market, so I don't know. The area you live in is not a good place to start in real estate. As far as unless at least try. Have you actually printed out a list off the MLS that shows every single
so there's
fourplex, triplex, and duplex in Stockton?
I'm checking every day.
You check every day in the MLS. And is anything there sitting on the MLS for more than, say, 60 days?
There are a few, but then there's like there are a couple fourplexes like kind of in like downtown Stockton area going for around 450, but they're either vacant or they need a lot of work and they won't qualify for FHA.
Well, you could make. Well, you don't want to put all $100,000 down on something like that, and 20% down probably. So, I mean, you got to keep looking. Prices are coming down.
I can't qualify for convention.
Prices are coming down. And that's it. Can everybody see the baby?
Here's another thing also. So pretty much right now, my qualifying income is $55,000, but next year it'll be averaged out to about $80,000. So I'll have more borrowing power as
all right,
well.
well,
And I'll be able to do
that's it. Make some more money, have a stronger tax return, be able to borrow some more money. But even if you can borrow money, that's not your problem. It seems like your problem is you're in Stockton and there's not a lot of deals to be made. Maybe you can find a house to flip. Can you find a house to flip? There's always old shit downtown Stockton.
I can make it 10%.
Go to downtown Stockton and look for some piece of shit, and if you know a contractor, help you fix it up. Try that.
I do know a contractor.
Well, that's what you need to do. You got to do anything you can possibly do to make a deal and make some money. But it depends on the area you're in. I'm in a bad area too for trying to make money right now. That's why I'm doing commercial real estate. I had to switch my whole goddamn portfolio up. Because there's no gains in multifamily. All right. Well, good luck to you. I appreciate the call. And go to Hammer Lane. Hammer Lane. Hello, Aaron. You awake?
Huh?
That's the way you are in class? Aaron's sick. I gotta give him some medicine tonight.
Why do you keep saying
I'm giving him? Let me tell you what works. I'm gonna give you 3 types of medicine. I'm gonna give you NyQuil. I'm gonna give you Mucinex, and I'm gonna give you something else. And then one of them's got to work. That's the way my brother practiced medicine. He's, when I was sick, and it worked. It worked. He just overdosed you. You got rid of it. What do you got?
All right. Wild Biz, thank you for the $20. I appreciate it. I'm selling my house. I will profit around $100K. I want to get into multifamily. Recently, divorced kids are gone, and I'm ready to make money.
Make some money. I mean, you got $100K?
Yeah, he's in Tucson, Arizona.
All right. Well,
travel.
Where's in Arizona?
Yeah, Tucson.
Well,
Tucson,
Tucson.
Tucson.
Tuscon? CAN?
TUCSON.
Whatever. Tucson. All right. Well, it's all about finding a deal. You got $100,000. I'm sure you go get some money from the bank if you had to, but it's hard right now, waiting for the market to change because interest rates went up, and I don't know. The world's in a crazy place right now. Everybody's holding on to shit and everything they got. They think is worth a fortune. You know why? Because we're not making a lot more shit. I don't know. All I know is it ain't a good time to buy. You should see what I go through every day trying to find a goddamn deal. I got Vincent going looking at buildings that need to be condemned, condemned to just try to create a deal. Today I put an offer in on a dermatologist's office because it was a good neighborhood and it's going to give me about a 6 cap. So, and it's near the country club. So I can drive by and look at it as I go to the country club. I went to the country club not too long ago, and I know there's a family I run into there, and they, the father likes to, watching the videos, and and the sons and all that, nice people, but he's got his mother lives with him, and his mother was there, and I think she's like from New York or something or whatever, whatever, and she says, and then son wanted to take a picture, which I'm going to tell you something. Anytime somebody wants to take a picture of me, that's the biggest fucking compliment you could ever ask for in life. Okay, I mean that just blows me away when people say, "Hey, can I take a picture?" I mean, that's a great thing. So anyway, make a long story short, we're taking a picture, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, I watched it. I didn't really care for it. I really wanted to, I didn't want to be rude. I really wanted to tell the lady, listen, coming from you, that's a compliment. So anyway, what else? What are we talking about? Ben. Who's that guy?
That's Brett.
And he's on a Zoom?
We got a fast pass.
We got a fast pass. All right, what's going on, man? How are you? How you doing? Where the hell
So
are you? The
basically,
country?
yeah,
Can't hear
I'm
him.
up in northern New York. What's that?
Northern New
So I'm in
York. Can't
northern New
break it
York,
up.
south of Canada. Yeah, it's
We got to
almost
fix your
5
sound.
years.
The sound's really bad. Sounds really bad.
I'm just gonna give you a call.
Can we figure it? Can we fix the sound? Try calling again. All right. What else you got, Aaron?
Shout out to Woody's. Ben, where did you stay in Oakland and how long were you there?
Okay, I got to Oakland in 1987. Okay, and I stayed there until 2004, and I know every goddamn inch of that whole goddamn city. But it was rough back then. I don't think it's as rough as it is now because when I was there, it was a rough, tough place. And let me tell you, I grew up in rough places. Oakland, I think it was rougher. I mean, well, New York had a lot of projects, so we had the abundance of people. But Oakland was a very tough town. I've been all over that place. I used to buy, when I was Vincent's age, I was all over that goddamn city. I was buying shit on the East Oakland. I was buying shit in West Oakland. I was buying shit in North Oakland. I would go down around the goddamn lake and try to get something if I could. I'd get anything I could. I bought the shit nobody else wanted in West Oakland, where it was very dangerous. Let me tell you. All right. If you went to my properties in West Oakland back then, you were not going to the property unless you were talking and schmoozing with the drug dealers and the gang, whatever. Every block had a gang. There were no gangs in Oakland. Gangs won't survive in Oakland. They ain't got none of that. When I was there, every damn block was its own gang. So anyway, tough town.
Ben, we got a caller.
We have a caller. Come on, Rafal.
All right, Brett.
Hey, Ben, this is Brett. So
All
I was
right.
trying to talk to the other man, and it's terrible. So I'm up in northern New York. So really what I'm looking at is I'm looking at building up a house up here. And I got two questions. So basically one with the current, I know you don't do new builds really, but do you think it's worth building a house with current, building material prices, or is it something you think it'd be worth putting off for another year? And then additionally, as you can kind of tell, I live in the middle of nowhere. Where do you think the best idea is for me to kind of put my money? So I live in kind of a college town. My colleges aren't doing too well. One of them is going to kind of basically combine in. They're building new student housing, so it's a bit hard to actually break in that market. But so I'm really kind of unsure. Like, what would you do if you live in the middle of nowhere? I do. Where would you basically put your money, and would you bother even building a new house, or would you kind of wait till next year?
What is the reason? What is the reason you want to build a house? What's the reason behind it? What's the goal?
So the reason by that is I basically inherited the property. I'm 27. I have about 120,000 saved up, and it's really looking for a place to put the money in. I could do a portion of a build myself, so I get a bit of that equity there where you're saving it versus the builder. So that's the reason I'm looking at, and you can possibly, refinance.
What are you going to do with it? All right, let's say you take that $100,000. I don't know how the hell you're going to build a house $100,000 even by yourself, and that'll take you forever. I mean, if you can pull this off and build a house. If you're going to, build a house, what are you going to do with the house after you build it?
So the house, obviously, when I'm going to be financing it, it's just like I have about $100,000 in, total cash to saved up. So, I'd be doing a finance. I'd be doing.
What are you going to do with the house if you build it? What's the purpose? You're going to rent it. You're going to sell it. You're going to rent it. You're going to sell it. You're going to move in it. Sell your old house. What are you going to do?
So right now, what I'd be doing is I'd be moving in. I'd be renting out a couple other rooms for it to kind of obviously offset the mortgage. It wouldn't be completely cash.
You're going to rent rooms out in the house you're living in?
Yes, the house I'd be building in.
In the middle of nowhere. I hate to see the people you're going to be renting to, boy.
I'd be basically renting it out to family is more or less what it would be.
Oh, okay. Family's a different story. Is the family going to pay you? Because my family never pays me shit. The family's going to pay you?
I'm going to make sure they pay. And I'm going to make sure they pay.
Because I can't squeeze a fucking nickel out of my family, especially Aaron. But all right, so I don't know. You got $100,000. I don't know I don't know where you're at. How far upstate are you?
I'm 45 minutes south of the Canadian border.
The Canadian border.
So I'm up there.
You're up there, boy. Let me tell you. You sound like you're not in Niagara, right?
No, I'm up by like Messina and that. So like south of like Montreal.
I mean, what's the closest populated area where maybe you could find a rental or something like that? And it sounds like you like to build. Everybody lives up in the damn woods in the forest likes to build. You like to build, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. So can you find a fixer-upper?
Watertown.
Watertown, New York. I heard of that place.
Yeah, you know where that is.
I
Yeah,
heard
they
of
got.
it, but
I mean, that's the one thing is they have
Yeah.
the military base down there. So that's one
well,
thing.
how far away is that?
That's an hour and a half.
I mean, basically, if you go online or you get a real estate agent and at least see what's out there in the market, all right? At least know the market so you know whether it's a good deal or not. Get a list of every goddamn thing in a radius of area that you're willing to go to. If you're willing to travel an hour and a half, which you ain't got to go there much if you buy a fourplex. I mean, they pay you the rent, you send somebody out a handyman, and there's nothing else to do. I mean, it's not like owning a big building with employees. So, I mean, I would get an agent if I was you first and see what's on the market for sale. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe you'll score a damn cheap dollar store. They make money in the middle of nowhere because there's nowhere else to go. So, I mean, I don't know. And look for fourplexes. Look for triplexes. If you go near a military base, that should be a good thing. You're not near Syracuse, are you, or what?
No, Syracuse would be another hour south of Watertown.
All right. So, that's what I would try to do if I was you before I start going and building houses. And then what are you going to do with the house you're living in?
So that's actually my parents' house. So I live there
okay.
for the time being.
So, all right. Well, I don't know. If I had $100,000, I was in your situation, stuck in the middle of nowhere, I would go out as far as I had to go to find some opportunity. It could be a house. Maybe you'll find a cheap house. You're a builder. You can fix up something easy. You can build something. Maybe you'll find a fixer-upper on the market that somebody needs to unload. You really need an agent to go on the MLS and show you everything that's on the market. Then it's like shopping. You go shopping to see if there's anything that's a bargain. That's what I would do. All right. And then, if all fails, you can't find a deal. Then I don't know how you're going to build a house. You're going to be in debt. They're going to have to pay that rent.
All right. Let's go to the super chat.
Well, good luck to you. Good luck. All right. Build a log cabin. You can it's cheaper to build a log cabin probably, right? You just take the wood, chop it up, stack them and glue them, I guess, and nail them and, make your exterior out of logs.
Could be.
All right.
HD. Thank you for the $10. Hey, Ben, looking at a fourplex for $750K in Sacramento and wanted to provide all 4 units for Section 8 housing. Your thoughts on Section 8 tenants and reliability of payments? And
well, my whole career was based on Section 8. I ain't got no shame in my game. That's where I started. And that's where I stayed for 20 plus years. And gradually we got away from it. Now we're in tax credit. So, anyway, the point is, real estate prices are ridiculous in California. It's all about the numbers work. If it's Section 8, your rent's guaranteed. You still got to screen a tenant, but it's a great program. Your money's guaranteed. If the guy loses his job, you ain't got to worry. Section 8 lowers his portion of rent. I used to do that. I would drive when a tenant told me, I go to a tenant's door, I used to walk around with a book or those old black books, with the white pages in it, whatever, with the lines. That was how I managed property. I'd go around at every door in the goddamn building collecting fucking rent, because you tell somebody to mail that shit back then, they'll think shit. Yeah, that motherfucker was lost in the mail. Shit, they ain't getting shit. You sit around. The only thing you get in the mail and it was a Section 8 check. So, or they deposit it right in your account now. But anyway, make a long story short, I go to a tenant and then, and sometimes it was a serious matter, and I treated it, and the guy says, well, I lost my job, but he was on Section 8. I said, okay, you lost your job? Good. You're not busy tomorrow morning. Guess where we're going?
Hey, Ben, we got a caller.
I'm talking. You're a rude friggin' Poland tonight, aren't you? Those Polish are nice people. They took it in Ukrainians.
You got the half Ukrainian part.
Anyway, the point was this. The guy would tell me lose his job. I tell him, yeah, fine, I'll pick you up tomorrow morning. Where are we going? The housing authority. I'd even take him to the unemployment office if he haven't even gone there. I'd do whatever I could to keep that rent coming in. I'd take the guy down or a lady or whatever and go down to the housing authority and say, hey, listen, my tenant does not have any income anymore. So, what they do? They take away the goddamn, they raise their portion and lower hers to nothing if she had no income or he had no income. So Section 8's the way to go. All right. Thank you very much. And make sure the numbers work. You better make sure you're cash flowing because you're paying a pretty penny for those damn 4 units. What else?
All right, we got a caller.
Almost $200 a door. Rent better be $2,000 a month. All right, caller, where you at? You ain't got nothing.
Hey.
What else? Well, how you doing?
Hey, Ben. Doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. What's up?
Hey, got a question. So I actually got qualified for a loan. and I signed a contract in Northport. It's going to be like a vacation home. And the only question I had was they offered me two types of loan, and one was an investment loan. And basically, the lender told me, hey, if you take the investment loan, then you can buy additional homes, and then you can take that rental. If you rent it out, you can take that rental income and then put it towards your other home if you want to buy it, and so you can build up your portfolio that way. I just wanted your opinion and see if I'm on the right track.
You're buying a house in Northport, Florida?
Yep.
All right. I know Northport. Okay. I missed a lot of good deals in Northport. All right. Because it used to be the Boondocks, and now it's not because everything's grown and spread out. All right. So you buy this rental house, and you're going to Airbnb it, or what are you going to do?
I think ideally I wanted, so I already have a contract ready to go on one of them, so I figured I'll try to rent it out, and then if I'm able to get another one, then I wanted to try the Airbnb since it does.
What are you going to do with the first one? What are you going to do with the first one? You going to rent it out?
Rent it out long term, yes.
Long term. How much is the rent going to be?
$2,500 is what the houses in that area are renting.
Okay, $2,500 a month. How much you paying for the house?
I have two options. It would be about 22, 23, somewhere in that range for the monthly payment. So it's not that much.
All right. So you're not going to have any cash flow, basically. Is that what you're saying? You're going to buy a house. You're going to pay the bank. The tenant's going to pay you. You're going to give all the money to the bank, the taxes, the insurance, and all that shit. And you got no cash flow. Okay. Why are you buying this house again?
Oh, just because.
You're bored?
Pretty much trying to.
You're working for free. You're working for free. If you do that, you're working for free, and that's up to you. A lot of people do it. You are paying down the mortgage. I'm sure you got principal payments in there, right?
Yeah.
So, you sit around with that house. It will be paid off in 30 years, I guess. That's up to you. That's not my game. I don't see why you're buying a house that's not going to give you any cash flow. I mean, just to, why can't you go right into the vacation rentals, and maybe can that house be rented out by the week, or is there a demand for that house to be rented out as a vacation house or Airbnb?
Yeah.
How much a night? How much a night?
The range is from about 160 to 200.
200 times 30 is 6,000 a month. Cut that number in half to play it safe. You still only get $3,000. It sounds like the house is too expensive to me. How much you paying for this house? $500,000 or $400,000? I bet.
400.
I just hit it on the nose. How did I do that? I mean, like she told me the payment. I could figure out what his payment would be based on what the hell, mortgage, tax, insurances. Anyway, I think you're paying too much for the house. That's just my opinion. But if you're just bored and you got to buy something, you're just itching to buy something, and you got to get that money going, then do it. But, I don't do deals that don't cash flow. There's no point. I'll be working for free. So that's my opinion. And that's,
number.
Anything. If you told me you were making $500, how much money are you putting down in that $400,000 house? $80,000?
80 grand. Yep.
I just thought that. I see 20% down, 80 grand. I'm brilliant. All right. So basically, you tie up 80 grand. You have no money, no return, except if you want to count the principal, you're buying down your mortgage. If you had at least, if you invest 80 grand, you want at least 10% return on your money. That's going to be 8,000, which is going to be about $750 a month. It's all about return. I mean, I don't know what else to say. That's just the way I live, but that's just my opinion. I wouldn't buy a house that's not going to cash flow. It makes no sense. I'm working for free. I'm taking on liability for free. I'm doing all that shit. All right. How much principal payment you making? How much is the principal payment? $500 a month?
Yeah, somewhere there. Yep.
All right. So yeah, you'll get $6,000 every year. Every year you hold it will reduce the mortgage you owe. Why are you reducing the mortgage? I don't know, but that's my opinion. So good luck, and good luck to you. But you're in the right area. You just got to find a better cash flow and deal. Go to Punta Gorda. Go to all those towns around there. They're all booming right now, and catch something that hasn't boomed yet.
Okay.
All right. Well, good luck to you, and thanks for the call, man. I appreciate it. What happened to Vincent? Vincent bailed on me. He probably had to go out and get dinner. What happened to Vincent? He left?
Yep. All right, Mike. Shout out to Mike. Thank you for the $9.99. I just got off the phone with the realtor. and she told me that wholesaling is fake. But I've done a bunch of research, and I think it's a good business. What do you think?
Listen, you know, if it's real, you'll know it. Okay, by doing it. Either you can do it or you can't. It's not fake. You know, somehow people choose to spend their time, and they spend a lot of time calling people. I get emails every day. Hey, you want to sell your property? You know, I mean, you know, and then they try to tie it up if they think that, you know, they get it for a cheap enough price and they flip it to somebody else and make a few bucks, move on to the next deal. Nothing's fake if it's reality. You know, try it, get with somebody that's doing it. The whole thing about making money is you want to copy other people that do it, do the same shit everybody else does. Because why? Because they're doing it and they're making money. That's all I ever did, except, you know, I worked a little harder than the guy that taught me. Hope you didn't hear that. But anyway, the point is try it. But try it with somebody that's already in the business that could teach it to you. Okay, it includes you maybe and show you the ropes. And you know, if it pays off, it pays off. You either like it or you don't like it. You know, but anything's possible. What else?
All right. IGH Properties.
IGH.
Before you, I'll thank you for the $500.
This guy must be filthy rich.
Thank you so
Boy,
much.
the Polac's gonna. You might get that plane ticket to friggin' Poland. The way it's going, thanks to IGH.
Thank you so much.
IGH, great guy. I've met him many, many times. We got to schedule another get together. Everybody just hang out. We'll talk about money. I'll bore the shit out of you a little bit, and Vincent and Aaron, and talking about real estate, and we'll have a good time. You'll stay at my hotel, and we have food. We have a bar open, and we'll hang out and talk about making money. Let's do it.
When do you think?
Somebody call Happy, find out when the next Saturday is available. In South Florida, they want me to, I don't know, they keep doing, all the Jewish people say, oh, you gotta do it on Saturday? Yeah. Anyway, all right.
He said, before you invest, go to consult with Ben. Rafal, thank you for all the videos and hope to see you all soon.
I hope so too. And anytime you're coming down this way, let us know. Okay? We'll give you a special discount. All right.
All right, we got a caller on the line.
Hey there, Ben. Nate Fitch here.
How are you today? Or tonight?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. So let me give you the scenario I'm working with. We're down in the Texas Hill Country, right outside of Fredericksburg, Texas. And last year in February, we bought 9 houses that were pretty much dilapidated on the river. And while we're fixing them up, we put income as they turn over. We put them on Airbnb, VRBO, and turn them out to the public. We finished our remodels in October, and the income was way more than I thought it was going to be. We ended up over $300,000. This year we're going to do probably $500,000 in rent on our property.
That's amazing. 9 houses?
Yes, sir.
9 houses. That's like a big money. That's like $9,000 a house a month or something.
Yeah, our big houses.
What are your expenses?
In the front.
Is that your net or is that your gross? What's your net?
That gross rent. So net on that was broke even because we spent, probably $500,000 or more fixing it up over the past.
So basically, the property paid for you to fix it up, correct?
Yeah, it did.
That's the way I do it. When I go to a hotel and a hotel needs millions of dollars, I take the income from the property and I just let them use that money to fix the place up. That's the way it works. If I got to put some out at first and get it back later, whatever. But so congratulations. Now you already. But now you got all this great property and it's all fixed up and making you money. So it's a great investment.
Well, I think so. But here's the question for you. I'm 29 years old. Yeah, here's the question. So I'm 29. We just had our first baby, my wife and I.
Congratulations.
And yeah, thank you. And so the property values out here just went nuts. I hit it the nail on the head with the timing and all that. And so I decided, and I think it's the right decision, but this is my question for you. We've signed a deal with Concierge Auctions to auction the property, no minimum bid, no reserve.
Why would you do that?
Well, the residential values where I'm at, from what I can tell, have gone up so high that I don't think I could ever.
Why would you not have a reserve? That means they can sell the property for whatever the fuck they want, and you get screwed. It happens with cars all the time.
That's how it works.
Why would you do that? You already signed the contract with the auctioneer?
There's a bailout. I'm allowed to bail out.
Thank God.
Right before. Yeah.
Shit. I mean, because
But-
I'll go to that
but-
fucking auction and I'll make sure I'm the only goddamn person there, and I'll bid $1,000 and wipe you out.
Well, that's my question. Is when you
And
look
Texas,
at a
let
property
me
and
tell
the
you
value
something.
goes up,
I spent a lot of time in Texas. I own thousands of units in fucking Houston. You can't play around in Texas. There's some sneaky ass cowboys out there, and they'll trick the shit out of you. So I wouldn't go around Texas and leave anybody any kind of room to screw me over. But anyway, you put these houses up for auction. Why? You trying to make all that money on selling them?
yeah, I think so.
How much you gonna
That's
get?
what I think is going to happen.
How much you gonna get? How much you think you're gonna get?
I think I'm going to get. Well, it could go for nothing. I mean, like you said, if I sign the deal the day before,
But what's
it
your
goes live.
bailout? What's your bailout? You said you got to get out of jail free card, right? What is it?
I got to get out of jail free card the day before, so they'll present
The day before?
after I go live.
That ain't no
Yep,
fucking
that's it.
help.
Nope, not much.
What are you gonna? Let me tell you, you're gonna end up buying that fucking house yourself, and then end up paying the fucking auctioneer because he didn't bring it up a big enough price. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just put it on the fucking market and see what it's gonna bring, and have people compete that way?
We negotiated an offer on the market. It was on the market for a week. Here's the kicker: right up the road, the house was on the market for 3 years. It was distressed. It sold for $1 million over list.
Yeah, but the person had control over the deal. When you put something up with no reserve on an auction, you're opening yourself up to get set up or screwed. I don't know this company, but are you familiar with the company? Are they real reputable? They've done a lot of auctions or what?
Yeah, it's owned by Sotheby's.
Oh, Sotheby's, all right. Well, make sure they marketed the shit out of it, But I don't know. I wouldn't do it, but that's fine. But anyway, so when's your auction? And then what are you gonna do with all the money?
Well,
you can have $10
so
million
you should
bucks,
sign
right?
up for the
$9 million
auction.
bucks. How much you gonna have? $9 million bucks?
No, I think it'll go for 5.
$5 million. How much did you pay? How much you got into it?
I can't tell you that. I want you to sign up for the auction.
I'm not buying no shit in Fredericksburg, Texas, please. What do you guys do? Duck hunting out there or some shit? Duck
No, we're
hunting,
wine
hog
country.
hunting?
Texas wine country.
Wine country, yeah. A bunch of drunken cowboys. That's all I need. All right. But anyway, I mean, good luck to you. I hope you get all that money.
Thank you.
And
Thank
hopefully you may have to 1031 it. You know that, or you're going to pay Uncle Sam. So,
Yeah, we're going to 1031 it. We're going to find something. That's the next problem.
All right. Well, good luck to you. I wish you the best of luck. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ben.
All right. Find out when that auction is. We're going to go there and keep everybody away, and we're going to buy that place for nothing.
There we go.
That guy would go, my God. I've seen it. I've seen everything. I don't trust nothing. I'm sorry. No reserve. I've seen guys take their cars to Barrett Jackson, and Barrett Jackson convinces them to do no reserve, and they get screwed. Okay, because they set up. Somehow, I don't know how they put it out at a time when they know that the big shots aren't there, or they'll do something where somebody will steal that car, and then the poor guy that put it up for auction, he gets screwed. I've seen all that dirty shit played. Every goddamn business there is. All right. You got anything, Aaron?
Yeah. Abshik, thank you for the $20. When you sell a hotel with old cast iron that has occasional issues and like a lobby restroom with a broken cast iron, how would you sell the property as is without sacrificing on the selling price drastically?
Is he talking about my hotel? Goddammit. No. Cast iron, meaning the plumbing. You talk about the sewer lines. I mean, I don't know. You might want to get me on the phone and have a private conversation. But I mean, listen, when people buy commercial real estate, it's buyer beware. All right. You got to do your damn, the buyer's got to do their homework. Disclosing it, I don't know. If you got active leaks, you should be dealing with them. I get that shit all the time. My pipes leak. Shit, Vincent sent me a video, or Brenda the other day, where a goddamn something happened with our chiller system that blew a pipe, and it was like a waterfall going on in the goddamn lobby. I mean, I don't know. You need to get me on the phone. We need to talk about how serious the damage is, what's it going to take to fix it. I like to sell property that's turnkey. I like to just give it to the buyer knowing that, hey, everything's okay here. I mean, I'm not promising in the world enough, and it's as is, but, I'm giving them a working, hotel with everything running, everything in shape. You got enough teeth, you got enough towels, you got all that shit you need to run it. But, I mean, or you can get a bid and discount it from the price,
Hey, Ben, we got a caller.
All right.
Hey, Seth.
Hey, Ben, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. So I have a question. I'm in the Raleigh-Durham area, big college town.
and I have 175K in capital right now. I work 15 days on and 15 days off. Is it good to get into the college sector, because it's running like 800,000 for a duplex, and even a single family home is running 600,000 near Chapel Hill.
That's the problem.
Is it a good investment nowadays to get into the college town, or no?
Listen, student housing is a great, sector of real estate. One time we had 580 beds right near USF Tampa. I wish I didn't sell them. I mean, student housing is great, providing you buy something that's going to give you a cash flow. The prices you're talking sounds like the real estate's too high there, but I mean, what level are you looking at? How much you looking to spend? You want to buy a big house with 5 bedrooms in it and rent out each bedroom? You can do that. You could buy a house and add on a bedroom.
It's a two-part question, because I own my own business. I own a pressure washing company. I'm making $500 to $1,000 a day, and I have no debt. I'm just racking up money at this point. No dependents. Divorced twice. You know how it is, but that's what the military does to you. But should I stay with my business? I'm making great numbers, but I feel like I can get into real estate and make good numbers there. You think it's okay for me to just drop my business?
Everybody needs a base. You got to keep your business. You got to keep that money coming in. You talk about big money. You're making anywhere from 150 to 300 grand a year. Listen, you got to keep a base in life and keep stacking your money and saving it, and try to do real estate at the same time. Real estate doesn't take up a lot of your time. If you went out tomorrow and you found a house where you can squeeze 4 or 5 bedrooms out of it, and you can rent every bedroom out to a student, how much is the rent per bed over there? Do you know? Probably about $800 a month.
Shit, I'm around there.
All right. Well, you got to find. The numbers got to work. You got to find a deal. Student housing is great, and especially if there's a demand for it. So if you can find a place, where they can share a place and share the kitchen and share the living room and have a bedroom, and they'll even share bathrooms, but that kind of may have to lower the rent a little. The point is, it's a market. You have to find a deal that's going to support getting into that market. You got to get out there and start looking for anything. Find out, look at the whole market. Maybe you can find a house you can fix up. You can at least pressure wash the motherfucker. Pardon my language. I'm trying not to curse so much. Hey, let me tell you something. If you pressure wash the sidewalk in front of a goddamn house with its dirty sidewalk or apartments, it makes it look like new. But anyway, you got to get out there and find something. You got to get qualified for a loan, and you got to get cooking. But you don't want to give up your business for that. You don't give up your business until you're making a shitload of money in real estate where you don't need your money for the business anymore. You spend all your time in real estate because it's making you more money. So right now, you need to carve out some time and start, finding a deal. Spread out, maybe. I don't know. If you want to hit the student market, you got to be closer to college. But maybe you got to understand the student market and know what's on the market right now. How much are they charging? What kind of product is it? Maybe you can find a house and add on a goddamn room or two. Every bedroom you add on is going to bring another $800 a month. Maybe you can find a house with a big lot and put an addition on it. There's anything you can do, if you put your mind to it.
Hey, if you need a free pressure washing service on your house, I could do it for free. I'll fly down.
Yeah, fly down with your equipment. I can just see you getting on the plane or trying to check the goddamn pressure washer and shit. With the, All right, I'll be
on the no-fly list.
I appreciate it. Well, good luck to you. But
have a good day.
Go out and find something, to get cooking. At least see the market.
Okay, all right. Have a good day.
Take care. Good luck. And then hire other people to start pressure washing and make money off of them. Because if you hire a guy for pressure washing, he's going to cost you at best $150 a day. If he's making you $500 a day, you're making $350 off that one guy. Makes sense. Minus some expenses, you're still making $250 off the guy. That's how you grow. You can grow in anything you want in life. It could be real estate. It could be a business. Whatever makes money, that's what you need to put your time towards. Figure out what makes you the most money and put your time and effort towards that. It's not for everybody. This ain't for this guy. This ain't for that guy. Find out what's good for you. What else, Aaron?
Shout out Cayenne. Ben, how are you so entertaining? Also, if you had to guess how many packs of Newports you've smoked in your lifetime.
I'm smoking more because I'm sitting here. If I was working or whatever, I would be smoking, especially when I'm around my wife because she yells at me every time I smoke a cigarette. But I'm glad. Thanks for tuning in. What was the question?
How many Newports?
How many
Newport packs do you think you've smoked in your lifetime?
In my lifetime? Well, figure it out. You do the math. 56. I've been smoking since I was about, pack a day. Definitely. I started smoking at 12, but at 14, I know I was buying a pack a day. All right. So for the past, from 14. That's about 40 years, 42 years times a pack a day, times 365 packs a year. You do the math. And I'm still breathing. And they told me I got clean lungs. Aaron claims that I don't trust him. 15,330 packs.
It is definitely more too, because you buy the.
What do you? I buy a carton. I smoke a pack a day. All right, maybe a little more lately because stock market's driving me nuts, and so are you.
Like more than one a pack.
All right, what do you got?
We got a caller.
We have a caller.
Hey, Keith.
Can't hear you.
Hello, Ben.
Hey, how are you?
Aaron.
Hey,
I'm doing good. You guys okay?
Hey, turn off your podcast. I have a podcast in the
Wait,
background.
you got to turn something off, like you're, I don't know, Rafal.
He's
Talk to
listening
him.
to the podcast.
I don't know.
Are you on the phone? You got to get away from the podcast if
Shut it
you're on the
down.
phone.
Is that okay?
All right, how are you? What's going on?
I'm doing fine. I've been following you for a minute now. I'm in Riverdale, Georgia.
Kansas, you say? Where?
Riverdale, Georgia.
Riverdale,
Georgia. I lost my voice.
Yes, sir.
All right, Georgia.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, I looked at something in we got bad connection here. You got to get away from your phone or something. Just talk on the phone. I mean, get away from your cell phone or something. I don't know what he's doing. Hello?
Can you hear me better now?
Okay, I can hear you. Augusta, Georgia. You want to buy?
Okay.
Hey, there's a storage facility. It's half empty but brand new in Augusta, Georgia, right now. But I don't like the price.
Wow.
You near Augusta?
You know, I used to have no, I'm in Riverdale. I had 100 unit storage.
How
got
did
rid
I
of it.
know that? Something gave me a signal that I should tell you. What was the Georgia part? Really, it wasn't. I didn't know you were in the storage business. But anyway, go. I can send you. You want the deal? I'll send you the information on it. You send us your email to Rafal, and I'll send you the information. All right. So what do you got for us?
Yeah. Well, I want to know when you're going to invite us down to Florida where we can see you live.
You want to come hang out in the hotel and hang out? All right. I'll schedule it. I'll try to schedule it. I'll try to schedule it for. We're already into May, aren't we?
Almost.
What are we in now?
We're late April. So
We didn't hit May yet?
It's April 28th right now.
Oh, because Mother's Day's next week. All right, I'll try to squeeze one in.
Yes,
If I can't do May, we'll try to do June. Okay, when Aaron's out of
Okay.
school, so that's perfect. Yeah, all right. What else? What else
That's
going
really
on?
appreciated. Okay. Just what really the guy switched me to my question a while ago talking about those auctioneers.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a auction and I set a property for sale for $850,000 is my minimum.
Right.
Commercial property, nice
reserve.
property here in Atlanta.
Right.
And what the guy did, he brought in a ringer. Master guy.
Yeah, he's
He
breaking
wants
up.
to buy your property.
Let's
and
move on.
meet him.
Let's move on to the next caller since you're.
How much did you walk away with? We lost
Well,
him. How much?
the guy, can you hear me, Ben?
Why do people from Georgia talk so slow? I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Anyways, the guy came in, showed the property to the ringer, and lady, he says, Mr. B will give you $550 for your property. I said, I can't sell it for that. Ended up getting $750 for property, 100 less than my asking, but he was just trying to get me, I believe.
Did you
If
have
it
an
would've
auction?
been-
Did you have a real auction?
Yes.
You had
Yeah,
a-
it was an auction. Uh-huh.
Well, then, even if there's a ringer there, I mean, still, if somebody wanted to pay more, they would have paid it. I mean, if you have a real auction and he advertised it and people showed up to bid, then somebody should have paid you what they wanted to pay or what you wanted. I don't know.
Well, he was trying to get me to settle for something before the auction went live.
Yeah, I know. They always
And
try
so,
to do that.
But I didn't take it.
Right.
But suppose this, Ben. Suppose I'd have been dead and my heirs were selling the property. They would have took it. They would have thought it sounded
Well,
good.
thank God you're not dead. Thank God you walked away with at least $750, and that's life. So you're a smart guy. You didn't let him get over on you. All right. Well, that's great. But auctions, you got to be careful, especially in Georgia. I wouldn't go to auction in Georgia. Where's Moultrie?
Yeah,
Hey, my friend goes to Moultrie all the time to buy cars. You know where
Okay.
Moultrie is? You know where Moultrie is?
Yeah, that's south of me.
Yeah.
Luckily, I took the money I invested in Bay County, Florida, down in Panama City. I've got 8 condos down there. They're doing great.
Great.
I've got like 2.5 million in real estate. I really like you. You're a good guy.
Well, I appreciate you watching, and I
watching
wish you
on,
the best.
Thank you.
All right, good luck to you. Take care. I mean, you got to be careful. You play around with auctions, all that fast moving shit. You want fast money? Well, you better be watch out. When fast money don't come that tricky, it comes tricky. You want that quick money. Sold. There you go. You get your money. Normally within 30 days, even in real estate. All right. What else?
Shout out, Artie. If all of your properties are leveraged, how do you protect yourself from the downside? Like 2008, if you lose a tenant.
It's all, well, listen, when you got hundreds of tenants, you don't care if you lose a tenant. You're going to lose a tenant. You're going to have turnover every month. That's part of the game. It's part of the business that you do about it. If you got a small property, I mean, it's okay to be leveraged. Typically, if you fix your interest rate. If you fix your interest rate, and as long as the place is rented, you know what your cash flow is going to be. It ain't going to change. I mean, but as far as a downturn, I mean, if you only got one unit, and then it's vacant, then you got to pay the mortgage that month. That's part of the game. And that's why you don't want just one unit. And you got to make sure you got the money to pay. So, I mean, I when money's cheap, you borrow it. When it's not cheap, you don't borrow it. That's the whole thing, We have a caller.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Ben, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. This is Jim. I'm from Tucson, Arizona. Big fan, man. You're a big inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, what's going on in Tucson?
My question is, look, yes, sir, Tucson.
What's going on there? What do you got?
So I'm 51 years old. Recently divorced about 8 months ago. Kids
Congratulations.
all grown up, graduated. Kids are all grown up, graduated, gone out of the house. It's just me. I've got a house that's got a lot of value to it now, so I could sell it, walk away with around $100,000 at least in my pocket. I'm a small business owner.
You ain't got to give half to your wife. Tax-free, because you lived there 1-2 years, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, that's
what
the
about
thing.
your wife?
So,
your wife didn't take the house? You got lucky. You must have had a good lawyer.
No, I got everything.
You got it all. There you go. Take it all. All right. So very good. You got 100 grand equity sitting in your house. What do you want to do? You want to sell it? Why don't you go get a home equity line? You don't want to move. You don't have to move. You go get a home equity line and pull almost 100 grand out and take it and do something with it.
No. I want to move. I'm a small business owner, but I day trade also. But what I want to do is I want to jump in, all the way in, both feet, and I want to get into multifamily. I want to get in, and I want to partner up with somebody. I want to do a deal with somebody, network, mentorship. I want to get involved. Like, I'm an all-in kind of guy. I've been on my own since I was about 8 years old, and I'm a big risk taker. But I want to get into this. I like your style, and I've been following the channel a while. And like I said, I'm 51. I'm not getting any younger. And now that I'm divorced, I'm through the divorce, and I'm ready to get after it. So I got, like I said, about 100 grand coming out of this house, and I'm willing to travel, do whatever it takes. I want to get into it.
Well, I mean, it's not that. I mean, you have to find somebody to partner up with. And I'm sorry, we're not accepting partners right now. Basically, can you try to do something on your own? I mean, even if you start at a small level, can you find, can you take that 100 grand and buy a fourplex with it? I don't know. If you buy a fourplex for 400 grand, I don't know. You got to find a deal. You got to find out where can you make some money. Real estate is all about finding the deal. Okay. And then, find a deal. And, if you can go out and get a loan with that 100 grand, that 100 grand will get you 400 to 500 grand, depending on the bank, So I would, why don't you get a HELOC if something? What kind of business you in?
E-liquid and CBD for like the vape.
So, I mean, you're set up in that area, right? You're not going to leave the area, right? Aren't you making money?
I wholesale. I do everything wholesale, so I don't have to necessarily be here.
Yeah. I mean, if you got to find somewhere, where you're going to find some value. It's maybe somewhere in Arizona there. I don't know what parts are growing, but you got to go out and
Yeah,
find
I
an
mean,
agent, find a deal.
There's nothing in Tucson. There's nothing in Tucson. I can go to Phoenix.
All
You know,
right.
anything for like under 500 is a pretty bad part of town. I don't have a problem with that. I'll do whatever it takes. But I was just hoping, like, maybe a part of the country that's better to get into. And like right now, everything is really expensive. So, should I wait a while before I get into it? Or
You should be doing
you
your
know of a
homework
group
and
that
looking.
maybe
Listen, it's always a good time to look. All right, but it's a tough time right now. Are there areas that are still popping up and growing? Yeah, you got to find those areas. I mean, if you're willing to seriously travel and pick up and go somewhere else, why don't you Google and find out where all the Amazon places are being built? Because they're going to be full of workers that need affordable housing, even at $15 an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, these people can't afford it's $15 an hour a month. I don't know. It's like $2,500 a month. So you got to find where's that growth. Where are all big home builders building? I always look for where the big home builders are building. They build 1,000 homes. I know people are going to be living there. They're going to be building these. They need services. I'll rent to the service people. Workforce housing. But
yeah.
You got to start getting out there and looking. If you think there's some opportunity somewhere, and start spreading your wings and start going out and looking at the areas that are growing. Where are they building?
Yeah, well, that's what I was kind of hoping you could help me. Like, you have such a wide knowledge of.
I mean, if
the
I was
US.
you, I mean, right now I'm sticking to home because I don't feel like moving, traveling, and doing all that. If you got a free will to go wherever the hell you want, you got to do some homework. Find out who are the most growing cities right now, and get online. I mean, everything's online now. You can find out. You can ask fucking Google anything, and she'll give you the answer. Is it a she or a he? Is Google a boy or a girl? I don't think it has a gender. I think Google is genderless. It's
Fluid.
It's artificial intelligence. All right. So basically, you need to do some homework and find out. But in the meantime, what are you going to do? You want to sell that house? Huh? You don't want to just take a line of credit against it, huh? And just look around the area.
I want to sell it. I want to get the hell out of here. I want to get
All
as
right.
much as I can.
Go buy
like,
yourself
if you
an
have,
RV.
if you have like a
Go buy an RV and hit the highway.
Yeah. I just might. I got a brand new Bronco, and
Hey,
I might
Paulie's
pull
selling
something
his
with that, or
trailer.
I could.
Paulie, the guy that works for me, is selling his trailer for only. He'll take $10,000 right now. And you can pull it with the Bronco. But listen, seriously, you need. I mean, all I know is I know where I'm at now. I can't talk about anywhere else because that's not where I'm at. I'm in Florida. People are always coming and going to Florida. People are always retiring in Florida. People are always dying in Florida, and people are always visiting Florida. So that's why I'm in Florida. So, go to parts of Florida if you want and check it out. But you got to go online first and find some direction. Where there's some reason and time, worth your time to go. All right.
Look,
Good
I'm
luck.
willing to do a phone consultation.
Well, then
with
do
you. I'll
it. Then
pay
what are
more
you
money. I'd
wasting
really
our
like to talk
time
to
right
you more.
now? Yeah, get with Rafal and do a consult with Ben, and we'll try to figure something out. All right.
All
All right.
yeah. Because like, if you have like I like to go to one of your conferences. If you know some groups I can join to network. Like, I'm a real serious, aggressive person.
Well,
and so
all right. Well, get a hold of me and consult with Ben, and we'll figure something out. All right.
Hey, Ben, thank you.
All right, and don't
Take
get
care.
married no more. All right, next. What do you got, Aaron? Well, 3 strikes. Really, the third time is a charm, they say. It was for me.
All right.
She's a charm, all right.
Shout out,
Lucky
Mike.
Charms.
Shout out, Michael. Thank you for the $50.
50 big ones. What do you got, Polak?
Hey, Ben, I talked to you earlier in the year. I am 23 and just closed on my 12th house for student housing.
12th house? 23 years old. That's amazing.
My portfolio is at 36% cash on cash. Thanks for your inspiration.
That's great. I'm really happy to hear that. Congratulations at 23. So that's great. Anybody can do it. If you're at the right place at the right time, you find the right deal. That's it. What else, Aaron? Anything else? Are we done?
Gonna have one more caller.
One more caller. And it's dinner time. Let's
James,
see.
for
I got
19
too much
bucks.
shit going on these days. What?
I was just reading super chat.
Aaron, you got any super chats?
No, I was
We're getting a
got a
caller.
caller. All right.
Hello. How are you? What's going on?
Hey, Ben, how are you? I'm doing good.
What's up?
I got a deal over here, the triple net. It's in West Virginia.
You're
It's
breaking
a car
up.
wash, brand new car wash.
You got a triple neck car wash.
Yes, it's in West Virginia. It's a 7 cap.
Okay.
It's worth.
How old's the car wash? It was
3.5.
one of those new fancy ones?
Yeah.
It's the kind you drive through with a big machine, with
Yeah.
$1 million car wash machine or whatever they cost?
Yeah, it has a 20-year lease.
It has a 20-year lease, and how long's he been there?
Yeah. They just built it
Ooh, a
in
new one.
2019, I think.
Well,
And then,
it's
it has
big money
3
right now. Big money. Is it owned by one guy, or is it owned by a company, or is it owned by a guy that has 20, 50 car washes? Who's the tenant?
It's owned by, so this guy owns 3 in the area, and he built them himself.
Yeah, listen, you want to make sure if he's making money, it's a great deal. Okay? As long as he's making money and he's got business and he's making money, then he's going to pay you and everybody lives happily ever after. 7 cap's great. The 7 cap's going to get you like double on your return on your investment. You're going to borrow money to buy it?
Yeah, I have about 1.5 million in cash.
Cash. How much is the car wash? The car wash is what?
It's 3.5.
3.5?
Yeah.
Listen, 3.5. Well, try to put down as less as you can and get the lowest interest rate you can. Try to put down 20% if you can. They may make you go 25. I don't know. But, try to put down as little money as you can, because then you'll get a higher return on your money. And you keep a lot of that cash in your pocket and put it on another car wash. In fact, tell the guy, see if he wants to build any more if he's making money. I mean, it's a great deal. It's 7%. The car wash is brand spanking new. You got a 20-year lease. You trust the guy that's operating it. Make sure, he's got some money to bank. I don't know. I would make sure he's got some meat behind him in case people stop washing or some shit. I don't know. But, it sounds like a great deal. And it's in your own town, right?
No, it's actually in West Virginia. I live in Texas. I live in Dallas.
Well, if it's a good neighborhood and you feel comfortable, there's no management involved. I'm sure you don't have to go over there and wash no cars. He's responsible for everything, the taxes, the insurance, the maintenance, everything, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, piece of cake. Do it. As long as you're sure it's a good neighborhood and it's brand new. So that's got to be great. And there you go.
I was wondering.
But I'm going to tell you one thing.
What is a good cap rate?
Well, one thing, even though it sounds like a really great cap rate, 7, have you tried to get it for a cheaper price and get a higher cap rate? At least try. Because I don't know about West Virginia, what real estate prices are. Maybe the guy paid, I don't know what he paid for the land to build the car wash out. He probably put at least, I don't know, maybe he did it for $1.5 million. I don't know. I don't know what they cost. But, he could be into that thing for $2 million. He's trying to sell it to you for $3.5. You should kind of figure that out. And then, is he willing to sell it at a higher cap rate? How much is 3.5? Have you offered him any less money yet?
Yeah, I offered him 2.8, and then he came back with the 3.3, and I told him I can go up to 3.1.
Oh, all right. So you got him down. That's great, and do it. And then your cap rate's still only 7 at 3.1? Is your cap rate going up?
Yeah, it goes up.
Sounds good. For 20 years, you should be able to sit back, relax, and let people wash the damn cars. I hope.
Yeah.
I should. Well, good luck to you. Congratulations.
Thank you. And another question I have was, how do I get an interest loan only loan?
Well, interest only is up to the bank to give you that. I get it because I've been doing this shit 30 years and I got a lot of money and they don't want me. The banks don't want me to pay down the damn principal because they make more money on me if I pay, most principal. If I pay down a principal, I got to pay them less interest. So, it's about relationships. It's about how much money you got. You need to sit down with the bank and say, listen, I want to buy this car wash, but, I need some interest only to make some good return off of it. And see if they'll bite. Maybe they'll give you a year. Maybe they'll give you 2 years. Maybe give you 3. I don't know. He's not a corporate company. The problem is he's not corporate. Now, when you're into like a Walgreens or a big corporation with a 20-year lease, it's a different story. The bank says, oh, shit, we ain't worried. The tenant's a corporate tenant. We ain't going to worry about him. But, with a guy that only owns 3 car washes, they say, there's a little more risk here, so we might not want to give you interest only. All right. Well, good luck to you, but you at least try. Talk to the banks.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Aaron, you got anything before we go to dinner?
We're good.
We're good. All right. You done with the calls? You done with the chats?
Yeah.
All right. Where do they go to start listening to the new podcast? And guess what? We're going to have, hopefully, I can't guarantee it, but we're going to have one of the biggest YouTubers that talks real estate and he talks to stocks and all that stuff. he might be coming to town, and we might have our first podcast with this guy, and this guy's huge. I'll give you a hint. He's out of California. So what do they do to go to this new channel we got for podcasts only? It's going to be VIP special, baby. Only a special podcast people are going to this channel. What do you got?
So you just search for Ben Mallah Podcast, and the link is in the video description.
The link is in the video description
of each video.
All right. Very good. We done, Aaron?
We're good.
Yeah.
All right. Adios, amigos.
Bye-bye.